that's what I consider something totally different in that situation. So you would definitely try to make it work in that way, but to say that everybody could do it, yeah, I don't know.
No, I'm not saying everybody. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying people. Most people don't necessarily make it a priority.
Well, see, therein lies the problem, humble dad. See, even when you're saying you only made 70, your only is above average. And I think that's what Hink is trying to say. So if we're trying to teach young princes to be kings, we can either do one of two things. We can tell people strive and do better, right? We can go to the Andrew Tate route and be like, yo, man, you lazy as fuck and everybody. And that's the route I would actually, that's the side I'm on. But just for the sake of conversation and to understand where Hink is coming from, average is average. If and average means that people make a whole lot less and a whole lot more. So if we're talking averages of $47,000, then that means we're talking about brothers that make less than 47,000 and a little bit more than 47,000. But everybody lands right around the $47,000 mark. And being that being the case in America, is it feasible to have a stay-at-home wife with that mindset? And what do we tell the men that are at the $47,000 mark? $20,000 to $30,000 less than you used to make. Can they still do the whole stay-at-home wife thing?
And like you said, especially in this economy right now, if we sit there and say, "Hey, yeah, y'all do it," yeah, I don't know, brother. I don't know.
Go ahead, Trev.
I definitely. Oh, my fault, Jeff. My fault.
No, you good. You good. You can finish up if you had to.
No, what I was gonna say is, for those who are interested in homeschool, it's not as expensive as people think. You just gotta make sure you're consistent with the kid. Have your child have a certain time slot. If you could dedicate 4 hours of your day for that child to be focused in, and then they have online tutoring, online assistance. They also have a community of other parents. So any extracurricular activities that your kids wants to be involved in, they can do. They also have extracurricular groups where just all the home kids get to participate, say in sports or any other activity, and then they will also get to graduate like a normal kid would with their home school. So they get to go through the ceremony and all that, or they can just graduate with their homeschool community. They got that option.
All right, go ahead, Trev.
Yeah. So it's something that you have to discuss beforehand, right? Because everybody's situation is going to be different. There are plenty of women who will feel comfortable still working and still give you respect, right? A lot of women do expect you to make a little bit more, but if they're contributing somehow, even if they're doing like 30%, sometimes that's all you really need. Maybe just like to not have to buy groceries every week might be enough of a relief for you, because sometimes a lot of us, how we live, we're like right on a threshold. So that little extra that they can provide, if necessary, right? That's not the situation that I like to be in, because there's just certain things that I don't want to do, to be honest. When I get home, I don't feel like doing that type of stuff. When I get home, I'm back to work again. I'm doing my show, or, whatever, or doing research or whatever it is, just hustling. And I could keep doing that. But when it comes to like domestic stuff, I'm not even off that. I know how to do it and do it well, but it's just something that I don't feel like doing. I feel like I could be more valuable doing something else and trying to provide more I feel like I can make my time more efficient if I'm not doing those things. So I feel like a wife can help you out, but there are some times where it's just tough. If you're a wife, then it's not really necessary. If you don't have children, then, that there's nothing. Like, I remember before we had kids, all we had to do was dust. That's it. Like, it was too easy. You don't have nothing. Like, the kids, you know how it is. Once you have kids, they throwing stuff all over the place. They making holes in the walls. They breaking all the appliances, busting your sinks up. So there's so much you have to maintain and do and pay for, right? You talking about 9 meals a day or 12 meals a day versus your 6. So there's so much more you're responsible for when you're having kids. A whole bunch more clothes you got to wash, just so many more things. But if you're married, there's no kids yet, a lot of times the women will be willing to work, and I could definitely see it in that. But because it's not practical for a lot of us, even after kids, some people just can't do it who are way in that lower bracket. That's the hard part, because if we're talking about making anywhere, I see a lot of 30s up there. I see some. We know it's just under 50, right? So it's under 50 no matter how you spend it. That's the average person. That's what most people's reality is. And 50,000, you can't do nothing with that. Nothing. As expensive as rent is right now, people can't get any cars right now. You can't get a loan. They've raised the credit thresholds. Repos are at an all-time high. Credit interest is at the highest it's ever been. Like, what are we doing? How can you even survive like that? It's so tough out here. I'm doing all kinds of stuff that I never used to do. Pause. But I mean, as far as getting to the money, like, I have to hustle more. It is what it is. I have to hustle more. So I could only imagine if I were in like the 30 or the 50 bracket or something, man, I would be probably pulling my hairs out. You know what I mean? Or just working all damn day, because it's tough out here. And when you want to provide for your kids and you want to give them certain things, right? You want to provide them with whatever it is, extracurricular, piano lessons, karate, or whatever. You want to buy them new J's, which isn't practical, but I know what it is to be bullied in school for not having the right gear, or wearing the wrong tag on my Levi's for having orange tags instead of red tags, and getting bullied for it, or, you know what I mean? It is what it is. So there's a balance between that. You want to keep them at least sort of trendy, just so they don't have to deal with that bullying, because that's real. When you don't fit in, then you can be distracted from your studies. If people are constantly picking at you because you're not like the rest of the kids. And I definitely teach them about individualism, but you still have to blend in to a certain extent. You don't want to be the eyeball out. You don't want that type of attention, because it's very distracting and it's harder to learn. But yeah, I'll leave it there.
I'm confused by your statement.
Okay.
Go ahead. Confused. So you're saying that that people with lower wages can't afford to homeschool, but they also can't.
No, I didn't mention homeschool. I was only talking about as far as like just the wife working. Yeah, I was reverting back to the original question. I was talking about if the wife is working. So I was suggesting that it's less necessary for her to, well, it's better for her to work, like if you don't have any kids. But
yeah, I heard that part.
Yeah.
But then you said kids being bullied.
So go ahead.
How did you transition to kids being bullied as it relates to the finances in the house?
Well, I was just pretty much going down a list of certain things that you want to do, whether it's extracurricular activities or you want to keep your children trendy. And I kind of segued into why you may want to keep your children trendy, because I don't believe in spending a bunch of money on stupid stuff, but you still have to keep them a certain way just to avoid that, right? This is certain things that I've experienced. And, you know, when you're taking care of your family, you want to, you're concerned about your kids, and it's a reality. Kids do bully you. And a lot of it comes from fashion, because maybe you don't have the right gear a lot of times. You want to make sure they're groomed when they go to school. You want to make sure that they have at least clothes that look fresh, that are nice. And it's expensive.
But wouldn't that be more of a case in point to homeschool?
I don't really like, it's not for me. I don't down it if someone homeschools, but I think socially, I like the opportunities that they have as far as extracurricular activities and different things just from school, because you can get it all in one place. And I think it's better for children, in my opinion. Like I said, I wouldn't down anyone else's.
It's just we going with feelings. We're not going with no facts.
Well, listen, socially, for me, I've seen products of children who were homeschooled and some who weren't. And my preference is for my children to be socializing with most of the kids.
Do you this is the thing that I know that people don't know, especially Black people, that socialization comes from their parents. You teach your kid how to act in school. I don't, and being a teacher, a former teacher, a current teacher that I coach teachers, right, and also being an individual that was had a homeschool family. Parents don't have a clue what they're talking about when they talk about homeschooling. They just go based on what they feel, not based on any particular truth, right? Because socialization stems from you teaching your kid. Public school, homeschool has been around longer than public school. Did you know that?
Yep.
Okay,
But still, so what? My point was,
so centuries, kids have been homeschooled, and it has been implemented and designed. Public school has been designed to create workers. So you're saying you're sending your kid to go to a place that's not even productive for them. And
it depends.
no, it's not
depends.
dependent. It's not dependent. Okay, it is better to get independent work, right? So Shannon's a boss. So if Shannon spends a day with an employee, right? It's going to be better, or Hink coaching his son in basketball. It's going to be better for his son to be coached by him independently than as a coach having to coach a team. So, and then in homeschool, you get to go at your own pace. In public school, you got 70, depending on the school, you got 75 minutes. Most teachers only get about 55 minutes to actually teach a course or a concept, because other students in the classroom are having behavior issues, right? Or they're not understanding quick enough to move forward. So in actuality, when you send your kid to a public school, you're doing them a disservice.